The Forest of 1,000 Wishes. Long ago, in a land where the stars shimmered closer to the earth and time flowed like a gentle brook, there was a forest unlike any other. It was called the Forest of 1,000 Wishes, and every leaf on its countless trees held a whispered dream, a silent hope, or a forgotten longing. Some said the forest had been born from the sighs of the world, a place where the most secret wishes were carried by the wind and rooted into the earth. The forest lay on the edge of the kingdom of Lyrian, where rolling hills gave way to wild thickets and silver streams. Though the people of Lyrian were curious and brave, none dared venture deep into the forest, not because of beasts or curses, but because of the forest's strange rule. For every wish granted, something else would be taken. In a village near the forest's border lived a girl named Elira. She had hair the color of walnut bark and eyes as clear as morning dew. Though her family was poor, Elira's spirit was rich with kindness and wonder. She spent her days helping others, mending fences, feeding strays, or singing songs to comfort the lonely. But in her heart, she carried a wish. She wished to heal her brother, Rowan, who had fallen ill with a sleeping sickness that no healer could cure. Every day she sat by his bedside, holding his hand and telling him stories of the world he could not see. And every night she looked out at the line of trees where the forest began and thought of the wishes it held. On the eve of the winter star, when the night was longest and the sky brightest, Elira made her choice. She packed a satchel with bread, a charm her mother had made from Rowan's baby blanket, and a lantern carved with star runes. She kissed her parents goodbye and entered the forest as the first snowflakes began to fall. The forest was quiet, but not empty. The trees whispered her name, recognizing the shape of her wish. Their bark shimmered faintly with words, old languages of longing. Elira walked deeper, and soon the forest began to test her. She met a creature made of shadows that asked her to forget her brother and make a wish only for herself. She refused. She crossed a stream where the water sang of her fears. What if her wish came true, but she lost her own soul? Still, she stepped forward. She encountered a clearing where golden fruit hung from glowing trees. Each fruit pulsed with desire, wealth, beauty, power. But Elira passed them by, knowing her heart sought something purer. Finally, she came to the wishing tree, older than time, with bark like starlight and leaves like pages of unwritten books. It stood in a glade ringed with stones that bore the names of past wishers. Some were faded, others cracked. The wishing tree spoke, not with words, but with understanding. Elira placed the charm of Rowan on its roots and whispered her wish. Let my brother wake. Let him live a full life. Take from me what you must, but leave him whole. The tree shimmered. A wind stirred, lifting her hair and rustling the forest canopy like a symphony of sighs. The roots of the tree pulsed with light, and a leaf fell into Elira's hand. On it was written a single word: remember. Then all went dark. When Elira awoke, she was back at the edge of the village. Snow dusted her shoulders, and the lantern was cold in her hands. She ran home, heart pounding. There, in his bed, Rowan was awake, pale and thin, but smiling. Elira wept with joy. Her parents embraced them both. There was feasting and singing in the village for days, and all rejoiced in the miracle. But Elira soon realized what had been taken. Her voice was gone. She could no longer speak or sing. At first, the loss stung deeply. She had loved words and stories, songs and laughter. But she saw how Rowan grew stronger, how he danced and ran, how he painted with joy she had never seen in him before. And she knew the price had been fair. Elira learned to tell stories with her hands, with drawings, with eyes that still sparkled. The children of the village gathered around her more than ever. Her silence became a song of its own, one of a sacrifice, courage, and love. Years passed. The forest remained, shimmering on the horizon, calling out to new hearts and new wishes. But none entered as purely as Elira had, and few came back unchanged. They say if you walk the path Elira took, you can still hear the echo of her last song, carried in the wind, rustling through the forest of 1,000 wishes.